Well, we are back here in the Daybreak kitchen, and we have somebody new with us here at the Blennerhassett Hotel. It is Chef Jared Lee. Chef Jared Lee, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And since you're new here, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Marietta. Went to culinary school out in Oregon, Oregon Coast Culinary Institute, Coos Bay. Moved back here in 2019. Became the executive chef of 740 Social up in Marietta, and I recently found myself here at the Blennerhassett. So.
Well, it is great to have you, and it's great that we get to try out something new today. What are you going to be making for us today?
So we're going to be featuring our house-made gazpacho from our Blennerhassett cookbook, which is available in the gift shop, written and curated by our historian and concierge, Mr. Adam Dotson.
Interesting. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to trying this. What are we going to need to do to get started?
All right, so this is a super easy soup. Comes together very fast. Chock full of pantry staples that pretty much everybody has laying around. All fresh vegetables, pretty much.
Okay, you like to go over the ingredients?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got heirloom tomatoes, Kalamata olives, roasted red peppers, celery, cucumbers, red onions, and fresh garlic.
Yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of ingredients. Like you said, it may look overwhelming, but it's just stuff that people can find off the pantry, right? And is there any ingredients that can be substituted just in case somebody doesn't
Absolutely.
have it?
So if you have carrots laying around or potatoes, you could easily just blanch those off, throw them in, and substitute for your tomatoes or your celery, however you like. Any sort of aromatics, fresh herbs. You got some balsamic vinegar, olive oil, you're good to go.
Okay, well, how do we get them all mixed up together?
So we first start by making a hearty base here with our blender, and then we're going to go with a rough chop for these base vegetables because they're going to go right in here and get chopped right up. So no reason to do more knife work than we have to. So we'll start with our celery, cucumbers, fresh red onion, and then comes our garlic. Our recipe in the cookbook calls for 2 cloves, but we all know that's, not quite. You just to let your soul tell you how many cloves of garlic to put in. We got our Kalamata olives. I always like to check my olives for pits just to be safe. Right in the blender. Finally, we'll top it off with 6 ounces of roasted red pepper. You could roast your own, but canned is fine. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of chilled beef stock. We always make our stocks in-house here at the Blennerhassett.
And then does it have to be beef stock, or could it be something
It could
like
be chicken stock
or
vegetable stock if you wanted to go for a vegan option, absolutely. A lot of depth of flavor with the beef stock. And then we're going to go in with roughly 15 ounces of crushed stewed tomatoes. I prefer San Marzano imported from Italy, but Hunts will work just fine.
Well, that looks great so far.
Absolutely. So this is going to be our base. And then we'll just turn on our blender. Make sure it's not on high.
Okay.
And we'll just bring that all together. Oh. All right, and once that's blended, we have our base ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll finish that off very quickly, and then when we come back from our break, we're going to get everything plated, and we're going to get the taste tested.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have more on Daybreak right after the break. Well, we are back here at the Blennerhassett Hotel, where the base of the gazpacho is ready to go. So what do we need to do next?
All right, so we're going to go ahead with the garnish. This is going to be the meat of our soup, so to speak. So we're going to double down on some of those base flavors for some robust flavors really coming through. We're going to start with our cucumber.
Now, as you're getting these ingredients ready, one thing that people have noticed that we haven't done any actual cooking or heating things up. Is this typically served chilled?
Absolutely, yep. Served chilled, and it's best made a day or 2 ahead of time so those flavors can come together.
Okay.
Yep, and so if you got a party and you're going to be busy on the day of, go ahead and throw this soup in the refrigerator and it'll be good to go, ready to serve guests when you
arrive.
Absolutely, yep.
Good way to keep them busy.
So we like a nice medium dice on our garnish, so we want it to always fit on the spoon. You want to get a little bit of each vegetable in every bite. We'll go in with our onion, Just dice a little bit of that. And you can tailor this to however you like. I mean, really, if you're not a big onion person, you don't have to follow the recipe exactly. You know, you just add a little bit here or there. You could replace with shallots or whatever you like. Very customizable.
And then we're using a red onion right here, right?
Yes.
And you can substitute it with something like a white onion if that's the only thing available.
Yep, absolutely. And so we'll go right in, start adding our garnishes. And make sure we got enough to fill everything out. Right in there. And then we'll come in with our chopped Kalamata olives. Again, watch out for those pits. More roasted red pepper. Some finely diced celery stalk.
Okay.
And our heirloom cherry tomatoes. These are the ones we use at the hotel for all of our salads, and tomato confit for our shrimp and grits dish.
Yeah.
And so, as with any good soup, finish with salt and pepper to taste. Dash of Worcestershire sauce. A little bit of red wine vinegar. And that kind of helps balance out the acidity. And finally, just a splash, about 3/4 of a cup of plain white wine. Yeah, just a little
bit more.
yeah, for the chefs that came before us. That's how we honor them. All right, and then we just bring that all together. And this could just be thrown right in your Tupperware, ready to go, or you could serve it straight out of the bowl. All right. We'll go ahead and do our plate up. So this is a great summer starter.
Yeah. As the weather starts to heat up.
Yep. And we will be featuring this exact soup this weekend at the Blennerhasset. So come down and see us if this recipe sounds great to you. Maybe give it a try before you make it yourself.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Very delicious.
Thank you.
Just love the... Actually, I might want to go for another bite. You know it's good when somebody wants to go for another bite.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for sharing the Blennerhasset's gazpacho. It is delicious. Again, they can find it in the Blennerhasset cookbook, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
making
sir.
it
Thank
for
you.
us, and hopefully we get to see you again next week. But as always, we're going to have more on Daybreak right after the break. Delicious.
You didn't even let him put the croutons on.